Jeremy Answer here, the BA Guide, here to share the results of my top 5 Agile Principles activity. Now, before I start, there's no right or wrong answer. Because of my opinion is this does not mean that your opinion needs to be this. This is all opinion. All 12 Agile Principles are crucially important, but these are just the top 5 according to my experience. So number 1, and again, this is in no particular order, but number 1 is deliver value faster. The biggest reason Agile got created was because the traditional methodologies such as waterfall weren't delivering value until the end of the project. So there was a whole bunch of work, a whole bunch of effort, a whole bunch of money being put into projects up front, and the business wasn't seeing the value until weeks, more than likely months, more than likely years later down the road. So the deliver value faster principle, that we're going to deliver that value to the business much sooner and have them realize those benefits and that value, is critically important and is the reason why that is one of the first principles on my top 5 list. Next comes welcome change. Again, with traditional methodologies, the business really gets sick of hearing no, because in the traditional methodology, you have various stages, and once you get past a certain stage, you can't go back. So once you get done with the requirements, you get into design, you're not supposed to go back and add requirements to it. Once you get into development, you can't go back and redesign it. And it just makes it very difficult for the business because the business is always evolving, right? All their needs are always changing. And so the Agile principle of welcome change is saying, regardless where you're at in the project, if you're at the beginning, the middle, or the end, business is going to change. You need to welcome that change and look at how you can make that adjustment to help the business realize the value of that change. So my second top 5 Agile principle is welcome change. The next Agile principle of my top 5 is work together daily. And this is all about the business working with other project team members such as the business analysts and the developers and the quality assurance members, etc. So you're working together daily, having conversations, making decisions, and moving things forward. Too often in the waterfall or traditional methodologies, because of the various stages, everybody's siloed. The business analyst is very siloed. They may be working with the business, but then they need to translate all those details to the developer. That developer's siloed. They work only with the business analyst who translates the business needs. So if there's questions, the business analyst has to play the middleman. Agile is saying, you work together. Everybody's going to work together, and everybody's going to work together every single day. We are one big team driving towards one specific goal. We need to work together daily. Next is working software is key. And I picked this one because a lot of times in traditional methodologies, as you're working through and gathering requirements and creating models, you feel like you're really making good progress. And you are. But you have to remember that when you're doing that, you're not actually creating any value for the business at this point. You're just creating the models and the requirements to then be able to create some type of solution that then can create value. Where Agile is a little different is they're only focused on that working software. They don't care about all the models and requirements you have to do in the back end. That's all just means to get to that working software, that working solution. So the working software is the primary focus and the primary measure of how that project is moving forward. And last but not least, I chose reflect and adjust. Agile being a very iterative process, it allows the team to reflect on what happened in that last time box, that last iteration, and make adjustments to their processes, make adjustments to roles and responsibilities, make adjustments to how they're delivering that value to the business. By making those adjustments, you're able to do those lessons learned over and over and over throughout a project. And by the end of the project, or really by the middle of the project, most project teams are feeling like a well-oiled machine. Everybody just knows what they're doing. They're working through. A lot of the issues and problems and challenges have been resolved, and everybody's just striving forward to that end result. On more traditional projects like a waterfall type of project, you only get to do a lessons learned really at the end of that project. So after the 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, whatever that project length is, then you sit down and do a lessons learned. but you're thinking back through 6 months, 2 years, 3 years to do a lessons learned. Good luck remembering all the challenges that happen and making adjustments. That's one of the bummers, but the other bummer is you don't get to utilize the lessons learned that you learned on that project that you just got finished with, because that project's done. Now you need to try to apply those to the next project. So again, that's just my opinion. Again, no right or wrong answers. I can't wait to see your opinion in your posts in the Q&A. So if you haven't done that, highly recommend you hop out there, put your top 5 Agile principles and some reasoning out there in a Q&A post, and we look forward to reading and commenting on all of those that we can. Thanks a lot.